I got another mixed bag here with the Calgary Hitmen. They seem to win a bunch and lose a bunch. Anyway, it's time for another episode of... Hi, welcome back to another episode of my Calgary Hitmen in 6. Special on the road, Grey Cup, Calgary Stampeders. I hope they win this time edition of my Calgary Hitmen in 6. This is episode number 5, where we're going to cover games 19 to 24 here of the 2018-19 WHL regular season here. And despite the ups and downs that the Calgary Hitmen have had so far this season, when you look at the standings, they're actually not too far out from being in a wildcard spot here. But with this Pacific Northwest road trip that they're on, it's actually been a mixed bag here, and this is definitely a long road trip that they're on right now as we recap the previous 6 games and look ahead to the next 6 games here. So let's begin with the recap here. So I'll bring out my phone here and my notes on my Google Docs here, so bear with me here. And also I'm in my hotel room, as I mentioned, as I'm on the road for the Grey Cup here. Hence I'm in my Stampeders gear, but all the teams that I cover for Calgary are all under the same umbrella here. So let's begin with Game 19. This happened on Friday, November 9th, and it was at the NMAX Centurium in Lethbridge with a 7 p.m. puck drop. The Calgary Hitmen dropped that game 4-2 in Lethbridge. What we can highlight with this game is that Luke Coleman and Jock Prokop scored a goal each. It was their 5th of the season at that time, and Lethbridge scored the go-ahead goal in the final 3 minutes of the 3rd period to get go-ahead. But the Calgary Hitmen, for a lack of effort, didn't have a lack of effort because they outshot the Hurricanes 36-19 in that one. So now if we go to Game 20 here, happened on Sunday, November the 11th. The Calgary Hitmen took on the Kootenay Ice, which is the one team that the Hitmen is ahead of in the Central Division, and they definitely took care of the ice at home ice at Scotiabank Saddledome. That was a 4 p.m. game. 7-3 win. Guys like Carson Folk, James Malm had a 4-point games each. Had a goal, 3 assists. Riley Stotts, he had 2 goals and an assist. And Jack McNaughton had the win. And with the Hitmen scoring in the first 2 minutes of this game, that set the tone early there. So that was Game 20. So now, Game 21 is when they start their, it actually is a 7-game road trip here, mostly in the Pacific Northwest here. But Game 21, excuse me here, happened on Friday, November the 16th. This time the Calgary Hitmen went to Cranbrook to take on the Kootenay Ice again at the Western Financial Place. 7 p.m. puck drop, and the Calgary Hitmen shut up the ice 5-0 here. It was another ice feasting, as I call this one. 3 players had 2-point games here. Igor Zamula, 2 assists. Carl Zimmerman had 2 assists. And Ryder Korzak had 2 goals in this one. Jack McNaughton, 19 save shutouts here. And the Hitmen outshot the ice 42-19 here. So this Pacific Northwest trip started off on a high note here. So the next night, Game 22, the Calgary Hitmen were taking on the Spokane Chiefs at the Spokane Veteran Memorial Arena. 8 p.m. puck drop, and the Calgary Hitmen took care of the Chiefs the next night with a 5-1 victory. What highlighted with this game, 2 players definitely lit the lamp for the Calgary Hitmen. Mark Kolesnik, 3 goals. Riley Stotts, 2 goals. And then James Malm with 3 assists set him up. And Carl Stankowski made 33 of 34 shots here. So Jack McNaughton and Carl Stankowski, support each other with the back-to-back nights here. So that was Game 22. So Game 23, and to continue on this road trip, happened on Tuesday, November the 20th. The Calgary Hitmen were off to Everett, Washington to take on the Everett Silvertips. at the Angel de Winds Arena, 8 p.m. puck drop. This time the Silvertips got the better of the Hitmen with a 4-0 win. It was a tough night for the Hitmen there. I mean, Everett Tips have balanced scoring here, highlighted with Dawson Butt with the goal and assist. Riley Sutter, that's definitely a familiar name for hockey fans in the hockey world. He had a goal and assist. And Bryce Kinderop, goal and assist here. And Sean Richards had 2 assists. That's all with the Everett Silvertips. Dustin Wolf, the goalie of the Silvertips, had 26 saves. And then Jack Benon for the Hitmen made 29 saves in the loss. So that was game 23. And then the last game for this 6-game cap for episode 5, game 24, happened on Wednesday, November the 21st. The Calgary Hitmen make a trip down to Oregon, in Portland, Oregon, to take on the Winterhawks. That happened at the Moda Center, 8 p.m. puck drop. And the Calgary Hitmen ended this segment on a positive note with a 3-2 win. And the Calgary Hitmen scored in the middle 3 goals, because the Winterhawks scored the first goal and the last goal in this game. But the Hitmen scored the 3 in the middle there. Carson Fluke, 2 assists. Goal scorers, Jake Kriske, James Malm, and Riley Stotts each had a goal. And Carl Stankowski was huge in this game with 38 saves in the win, because the Winterhawks outshot the Calgary Hitmen 40-28 in this game. So, despite being outplayed, the Calgary Hitmen pulled out a win here. So overall, in the standings here, it doesn't look as good because they're under 500, because they got 9 wins, 13 losses, and 2 overtime losses, no shield losses, with 20 points. But they're actually only, which puts them 5th in the Central Division, but they're actually only 3 points out of a playoff wildcard spot, which is the last wildcard spot, as they were 3 points behind the Medicine Hat Tigers. So, believe it or not, the Calgary Hitmen, despite being up and down, and when they've gotten beaten badly, they've gotten beaten, but they've won their fair share of games, especially recently here, that they're still within striking distance of a playoff spot. Maybe a few tweaks here and there could push them over the top, and James Malm and Logan Caden Ryder were acquisitions that they made earlier in the season to boost the offense, but they've had their games as well. But that's the Calgary Hitmen in 6 for episode 5 here. So if we look ahead to the next 6 games, which will be episode 6 here, so game 25, this will be on Friday, November the 23rd, as they continue their Pacific Northwest trip here. They'll be taking on the Seattle Thunderbirds. That's at the Esco Showwear Center, 8:30 p.m. puck drop. This is all Mountain Time, by the way, so they're an hour behind us in Washington State. And then game 26 will be Saturday, November 24th. Calgary will take on Yusuf El Maki's old team, the Tri-City Americans. That will be at the Toyota Center, 8 p.m. puck drop. And then on game 27, this will be Friday, November the 30th. The Calgary Hitmen will be finishing up their road trip with a game in Red Deer at the MX Centrium. 7 p.m. puck drop is when they'll take on the Rebels there. And then game 28, they finally get back home here on Saturday, December the 1st. Battle of Alberta, another Battle of Alberta here. The Calgary Hitmen take on the Edmonton Oil Kings. That's a 7 p.m. puck drop at the Scotiabank Saddledome. And then on Sunday, December 2nd, the next afternoon, they'll take on the Moose Jaw Warriors, 4 p.m. puck drop at the Scotiabank Saddledome. And then game 30, which would wrap up the next segment for episode 6, would be Friday, December the 7th. They'll be taking on the Swift Current Broncos. That'll be a 7 p.m. puck drop there. So that's the schedule looking ahead here, and I gave the standings here. So let's quickly peek over to who's leading the team in scoring here, and the goalie stats up to this point here. So I'll bring up my stats here. So looking at the just bear with me here, as I have to go to the website here for the Calgary Hitmen here, but it'll be the same guys that will be on the leading scorers here for the Calgary Hitmen here. So you hear all the names referenced a lot on the in the summary here. So yeah, I got it up here. So thanks for bearing with me. Mark Kolesnik is leading the team in scoring right now in 24 games. He has 19 goals, 11 assists for 30 points. And then James Malm, the guy they got from the Vancouver Giants here, overall in 22 games, he has 12 goals, 13 assists for 25 points. For the Calgary Hitmen, he's played 9 games. He has 3 goals and 7 points, so that's better than a point a game there. And then Jake Kriske, who in 24 games, he has 11 goals, 14 assists for 25 points. And, you know, to round up the top 4 and 5, Carson Folk, who has 24 games, 4 goals, 12 assists, 16 points. And then in number 5 is Igor Zamula, both defensemen here. 24 games, has 3 goals and 13 assists for 16 points here. So that's the top 5 Hitmen scoring leaders. And then when it comes to the goaltending here, it's when you go on the Hitmen Hockey website, if for some reason it doesn't bring up the most critical stats that you want when it comes to you know, goals against and wins and that. But so now when I have that out, see Jack Monoton is I need to get those wins back here. There we go. So Jack McNaughton here is 4 and 6 with a save percentage of 885, goals against average at 351. And then when you look at and that's in 11 games, and that Karl Stankowski here in 14 games, he has an 836 goals against average, 876 save percentage, and he's 5, 6, and 2 there. And then Matthew Armitage only had that one game, which happened to be the home opener there, and his goals against average is 505, 839 save percentage with a loss there. So that's the goaltending there. It's hard to say who's still being who's the better goalie, because I think both goalies, Stankowski and McNaughton, seem to have their good and bad moments there. It's not as obvious, let's say, with the Calgary Flames here, but you know, that's the goaltending summary there. So anyway, you know, if you enjoy everything I do on my YouTube channel, make sure you hit like, subscribe here, and you know, as you now, as with the Grey Cup wrapping up here on the weekend there, I mean, there'll be some Grey Cup moment videos here and there, but anyway, I think the Calgary Flames and Calgary Hitmen, there'll be a recap video every couple weeks here, so so make sure you stay tuned to that on my YouTube channel by making sure you subscribe and hit that bell icon. And if also enjoy, you know, my personal vlogs or scenery videos or anything else I do with you know, musical entertainment, maybe even the odd sports take here and there, not Calgary, but mostly Calgary sports. But you know, if you enjoy everything I do, just make sure you hit like, subscribe, and as I always say, I'll see you in the next video here.